Dr. Krystal Lee, also known as Author K. Lee. I'm excited to be here for today's Embrace Your Crown. This is the month of May, no, April. I'm already in May. This is the month of April. This is April 5th, 2026. I'm excited because today's program marks a incredible time for me with Embrace Your Crown. This is actually my third year completing with this episode. And after this episode, this might be the last one for quite some time, just because I have some other projects I'm working on. But I wanted to be faithful to finish every year I started. And this is the third year I started and finished, and I'm excited to get to this point. I completed all three books during this series, and just being able to add additional help and bonuses, throughout this time has been a blessing for me. I trust has blessed you. But I do want to make sure I'm making room for new projects and just things happening in my life. And this is one of the things that I will continue to mentor on. But I won't do the live videos like I've been doing every first Sunday going forward. This will be the last one until the unforeseeable future. So I wanted to definitely leave this program, this series with a bang. So I wanted to do this final episode called Rebuild. You have what you need. Now, I want to be clear. Everything you need to embrace your crown and learn the process are in the books. So if you get the books or you commit to the training, then you'll be able to get mentored by me. That will not change. And every first Sunday, I will do a new class reboot. Basically, I will start the class again every first Sunday because it's about 4 weeks that it kind of takes you to get through each of the books. So if you want to get into that, then we start a class every first Sunday, and then you can ultimately go through that class. So you can go through all three books with me still, but I won't be doing these lives like this anymore. They'll be really concentrated on the mentorship program. And for those who are utilizing the guides and want to absorb the information from the live talks. So if that's something you would like to get into, go to embraceyourcrown.com and subscribe and get in on that. And you'll be able to enjoy all the freebies that I offer with the series. Okay. Next, I want to take you ultimately through today's content, which I think is going to be a blessing. The content that the Father gave me has been something that I think we all want to experience and grow through, which is how can you rebuild when something has gone awry, something's not going as planned or the way you would like it to. And I want to talk about that today. How can I rebuild from where I am, where you are, and ultimately get to where the Father has for you? And sometimes in the phases of rebuilding, it also means restructuring what you value and put as priorities. Not everything remains the same kind of priority, whether you are 25, 35, 45, 65, things will shuffle around in your life, and you have to be willing to make those changes and to rebuild when necessary. So I want to talk about that today. And here is the question to kind of jumpstart this conversation, which is rebuild. You have everything you need. You were made for this. And something I would like for you to consider during this presentation is it's not over no matter your test. I know some people might say, well, if I'm having to close my business, it's over. No, it just means maybe this business is over, or maybe this relationship is over, or maybe this diet is over. But it doesn't mean that your journey is completely canceled. It just means that maybe you have to stop this process to begin the right process for you. Maybe you have to take one step back to get realigned, to take 20 steps forward. And I want to talk about that today. I want to share some of the things that I'm going through in my company and growth that I believe is going to also bless you. One of the things I'm pretty sure you may be familiar with the series is there are 3 foundational books, which I'm going to talk to you about, but a total of 5 that really make up this series and this project that I believe the Father gave me to share with all of you. And here it is. I want to make sure I share that with you. So let me take you to where we are. Before we get into that, of course, I want to ultimately take you into the agenda. Here's the agenda. I'm going to take you through the history of Embrace Your Crown. I'll do a really brief introduction to myself. I want to welcome the royals, kings, and queens to the table. We're going to have the conversation on rebuild. You have what you need. And then ultimately, I want to thank those who sponsored this program to help us to have continued it for 3 years so far. And those participants are still very much a part of this vision for Embrace Your Crown. And as we are restructuring the things that we need to do, we're going to be doing that. And there might be new announcements coming out, but they won't be coming out until May, likely. At the earliest at the end of April, but I don't want to promise something and not deliver. So I would say sometime in May. And yeah, so more still to come. The series is not dead just because doing these lives on social media is going to be discontinued after this month, for sure. So, again, if you want to learn more about this series, grab any of the books that I'm going to talk about, or seek a mentorship, relationship, or something like that with me, I want to encourage you to definitely go to embraceyourcrown.com. And when you go there, you're going to be able to check out all three books. So, what's the point or the purpose for this series? You were born with a purpose, on purpose, for a purpose. The only question I have for you today is, will you embrace your crown and live your purpose? Okay. A little bit about me. I am Dr. Krystal Lee. I'm a business owner, consultant. I'm the author of over now 60 books. I help new authors tell their stories, launch their businesses, and live on purpose. And I say, welcome to Embrace Your Crown. As far as who is welcome to the table, who do we have here today? And how are we going to go through today's content? Let me tell you, first, I want to welcome Kingdom Builders. These are people that are owners, business owners, presidents, CEOs, or just the heads of organizations, whether it's a ministry, nonprofit, or for profit company. Welcome to the table. For Royals, you are the managers, you are the people that nurture people, elevate people, help to show people their gifts and talents. Where would the world be without people like you? And then we have the knights. Knights are people that are strong administrators. They are strong intercessors when it comes to prayer. These are the people that will give everything they have to see other people win. And this is why we absolutely need you at the table. And then ultimately, we get to the specially invited guests. These are people that know they need to get around the right people. So if that's you, if life is imploding, if your dreams are not going anywhere, if you're seeing a lot of things kind of just fall by the wayside year after year, day after day, and you're frustrated, or you just kind of feel a little bit hopeless or helpless, I want to encourage you, you're at the right table. You're in the right conversation. And it's my goal to pick you up today and carry you as we show you how you can embrace where you are and go through I'm going to show you today, what we're going to talk about, which is how to rebuild when things fall apart. So if things are falling apart, best conversation to have right now is, how can we rebuild from where we are? Okay. Sometimes we don't see the future and we're right here, right now. So if that's you, again, wonderful place to be. All right. So these are the three books. I'm going to talk about those towards the end of the presentation. Right now, I really just want to focus on the actual conversation. So again, I told you that the name of the conversation is Rebuild. You have what you need. So this is the first thing I want you to, ma'am, excuse you. Hi. Shh. Hi. So sorry about that. So this is the first thing I want you to do. I want you to consider the plan. And when you consider the plan, I want you to go back to what you said you wanted to do. What's your goal? What was your plan? Was your plan too small? Was it not well thought out? Was the foundation a little bit wonky? Maybe you thought things were going to be a certain way. People you loved and care about changed. Maybe they didn't live. Maybe they passed away. So some things are out of our control. We don't know when people will leave or pass away, but we make plans because we're told to, and it is a good thing to do. So it helps you to know where you're going. Direction is key. And so I want you to consider, what was your plan? Okay. And the truth is, plans change. I mean, we all know that too, right? Plans change and they don't always give us notice. So, next thing I want you to consider is I want you to consider the cost. The Bible has a really wonderful verse that I think says it better than I can even summarize it, which is consider the cost so that as you're building something, you will be able to know that you're going to finish what you start. So you don't have a lot of incomplete projects. One of the things that I love about how I operate as a person, as a mentor, as a business consultant, as a business owner, entrepreneur, mother, and wife is if I start something, I'm going to finish it. I have to finish it. And if I have it incompleted, then it bothers me. If it doesn't bother you to have incomplete projects happening or going on in your life, I want you to take a second look at that. I want you to ask the question, why am I comfortable with things being incomplete or incomplete? Okay. And if you say, well, it's just that way, or I don't feel like I can change it, or it's always been, it will always be. If you kind of feel yourself falling into this sunken space where everything is kind of doom and gloom, I want to let you know that that's not the plan. That's not the plan the Father has for you. I know it's you, it might be the way you feel about your plan today or about how you feel, but it doesn't have to be how things remain. All right. The best thing about our reality is things are changing every day. The Bible says new mercies come every day. So if mercy is new every day, why aren't the things in us moving forward or progressing daily? Okay. So if you feel like you're stuck and you're not moving anywhere, I want you to consider the cost, even of being stagnant, staying in the same place. If you don't start talking or speaking up for yourself and stuff like that, you have to ask yourself the question, what am I doing? Why am I doing this to me, or why am I doing this, period? Okay. And as you start asking these critical questions, you can get to the honest and good answers that everyone needs. You need to know what the cost is. Before you buy something, you want to know, wait, how much am I committing? How much time is this going to take from me? How much energy do I got to put in this? How much can I make from this? Or what are going to be the expectations of me or of those I have of others? And as you start to ask and answer these questions, then you can actually look at what may be necessary to rebuild. Okay. So I want to encourage you that if you're now in a phase where rebuilding is absolutely necessary, consider your plan. Okay. Make a really solid one. And then I want you to think through the cost. Okay. Now, will you be able to know everything? No. But you can definitely consider where you're at and then know how you need to pray because prayer changes things. You might say, well, I'm done, or this is it. And then the Father might say, well, here's a new door I want you to walk in. I'm telling you, hold it open. So if the Father is holding the door, definitely don't close it, because we can get frustrated. We can be disappointed. We can get heartbroken, and we can start making rash decisions because we feel like this is the right thing to do, but we're not really considering the cost. Because if we quit too soon, we won't reach the finish line, right? So if you're finding like you have a lot of incompleted projects, it's because you're quitting too soon. And you want to make sure that, is the quitting on you? Are you like the Messiah where you got the cup in your hand and you're like, Lord, I ain't drinking this. Forget this. It ain't worth it. And you start making up these things to kind of help you justify or have an excuse to quit. If you are in that position where you're searching for an excuse, I want you to reconsider that. Excuses are only statements we use to justify what we want to do that we strongly think or know we're not supposed to do. Right. So if we're like, oh, you know what? I don't think I should go and do X, Y, and Z because it's raining. But if it was something else happening that you really wanted to do or felt compelled to do, would you go and do it under the same circumstances? And if the answer is yes, then you know it's an excuse, and likely not even a good one, because under other circumstances, you wouldn't even second guess it. So the question is, why are you running from doing the thing you're supposed to do? Is it rebellion? Okay. Is it stubbornness? Is it fear? Is it, oh my goodness, I don't want to fail? The way that we feel about making decisions can also show up in other ways. So if you're finding yourself battling, moving forward or staying still or stagnant, I want you to consider what's happening and what's really the real answer or the cause for your fear or your stagnation. Because usually it's not your first thought. It's usually much more deeper than that. Okay. So the next thing I want you to look at in this 6 point check in is how to redirect your efforts and resources. I know sometimes we may want to quit something because we're putting out all this energy, all these efforts, all this time, or worse, we feel like we don't have the time because other things are what chewing at our time. So then our priorities are just kind of under attack, right? And when your priorities are under attack, you're fighting for a place to belong or to be. And when we're fighting like this, it can overwhelm us, really. I think for some of us, we're overwhelmed and then we start looking at our resources and then we start saying it's not enough. I need more. Lord, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do this. Whether we're talking about a marriage, whether we're talking about a company, whether we're talking about projects, whether we're talking about dealing with animals. I know people who are giving their animals away right now because they're just over it. I know people who are walking away from relationships because they're not even necessarily unfixable. They're just over the work of it all because they don't see the vision anymore. And now they're looking at their resources and they're like, I need to redirect. Sometimes we're redirecting energy not in the best directions, but I want to encourage you today to redirect it in the best way. Okay. Sometimes it's the way you receive information, sometimes it's the way you relay information. I know my husband has been very good at reminding me of the things that I'm not aware that I do. And I don't necessarily do it with everybody when they're talking or saying things, but for some reason, when he's talking, I have a tendency of being so focused on what I want to say that I'll interrupt what he's saying. And he's like, man, if you were anybody else, this would annoy all the world out of me. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. I do need to realize that overstepping your words, even if it is with the best of intentions, it's not to, insult him or belittle what he's saying, but it can be very much what I'm doing. And so I have to realize it's not that he said anything mean or even unfair. He said something that was very honest, very fair, even very accurate. And now I need to see, how am I going to redirect my excitement? How am I going to redirect my feelings so I don't allow the emotion or the spirit of offense to attack me and make me say, well, I ain't going to say nothing. I won't talk at all. I'll just let you say everything. That wasn't the energy he said it in. That wasn't his intention. And what he said was true. And sometimes when we are corrected for the things that we're doing, we can start feeling so guilty that we make up these outrageous adjustments. I want you to look at, what have you redirected? What are your resources you're redirecting, not to your benefit, but out of the spirit of offense? Because that's not the way you want to use this check-in point. Okay. You don't want to redirect because you're offended or in an offensive way, or they hurt me, I'm gonna hurt them back, or he told me not to talk, I'm gonna tell him whenever he does the same thing to me, and I'm gonna show him he's no better or she's no better. That's not the way you really want progress. Okay. Because although you may feel vindicated in how you treat him or how she treats you, at the end of the day, the relationship still is struggling. Okay. Your marriage is still struggling. Your business partner still isn't on the same page. So, how can two walk together unless they agree? So, seeking agreement may also mean compromise. It may be humbling yourself. It may be, you know what, let me fall back a little bit and let them take the lead because maybe they know something I don't. It's being considerate of someone else's ideas or position, even if they don't have it right, even if they may fail in some ways. As a team, my job is to support him as his job is to support me. But if I'm not willing to support him in the same way he does for me, then are we partners? Or am I an opportunist? Are we opportunists where we're just looking at people as opportunities, and when they don't serve a function for us, we just dump them because it's easier to do that than to help you, right? I want you to question, what relationships in your life are you willing to work for? Because a marriage is work, a business partner, a partnership is work, no matter what kind of partnership it is. And so I want you to consider, don't just consider what a person has to offer you today, because that might go away. The parts of a person you like or can fall in love with could go away, especially if they're superficial. And I don't mean don't look at attributes and stuff you like. Consider all of that, but also consider beyond that. Okay, so what I want you to think of is how you can look at redirecting your efforts and your resources so you can accomplish the things that you're set out to do. And as you start looking at everything that's on the table, when you're looking at your positives, their positives, the struggles you have independently, collectively, then you can get honest with each other, yourself, and then you can come up with an action plan on how to do things right. Sometimes we say, this is failing, I'm going to quit, but we never did things right to begin with. We never really had an accountant that got our business corrected. We kind of did what we could do. We did our best. And when our best wasn't good enough, we said we weren't good enough. But that's not true. It just means you need a team. It means being a single mom might not be your goal in life. It might mean you need partners. You might need a coach to help with your sons. You might need a neighbor or a friend or a family member to help with your daughters. You might need to hire a consultant to come in and assist your staff. Maybe you need an HR person and you didn't want to hire one, and now you're like behind. Taxes is a mess because you never paid for accounting. You just pay to file your taxes at the end of the year. And then you find out all of these things you should have been doing monthly that you missed out on. Now you have to pay penalties. And now you feel like it's unfair. But the truth is, your foundation was never fair. It never set you up for success. So if right now you're looking at your relationships, your career, your business, your jobs, and you're saying, look, my action plan is to quit, I want you to look at, was my foundation ever right? Did I ever have a strong foundation? Because guess what? If you have a foundation that was sinking to begin with, the fact you built anything on it is a miracle. First of all, that means you're great. That means you're so phenomenal. You was able to build on something that honestly was insolvent. You know what I'm saying? You've done the hardest part is to build in the midst of a drought. And if you can build where there was a drought, where there was dysfunction, where it was chaos and all of that, then you can build better on a solid foundation. So my question to you, what action plan do you need right now to implement so that you're not striving amiss? If you're tired of building relationships that are doomed for failure, what do you need at the foundation? Is it you? Do you need to work on your attitude because that's the foundation? Do you need to work on your standards because your standards set the tone for everything? The standards set the tone for your employees. What is your work culture? Do you have a, hey, everybody needs to be on time? Why? Because we value your time, you should value ours, etc. Because if you have that type of communication, then your action plan can be implemented because everyone's locked up. But the moment everyone's not locked up, everybody's going in different directions, you're going to trip. And you're going to trip and fall a whole lot more, or worse, you're going to realize nobody's with you because you're over there and everyone's somewhere else, or worse, no one's ever been there. It's just you. And so you don't want to lean on people that are not going to be there. You want to lean on people that are there, that have proven themselves, that are consistent. So as you see more, learn more, you can have people that are committed to the same goal as you. So when you're creating or considering your action plan, know to do it right. I know it could be a lot of shortcuts. Oh, I'm not going to really do that. Oh, I don't want to pay all this. Oh, I don't want to have to take the time to do X, Y, and Z. When we skip parts and skip lessons and all of that, we can miss blessings and having a sure foundation. Okay. So I want to encourage you, if you've never done stuff right because you kind of felt like you had to do stuff on a whim, see if you can correct that in you. Okay. See if you can take 2 steps back to clear your head. Sometimes you need to get away. Sometimes you need to, spend an hour or 2, or maybe a day, maybe a weekend with just yourself and whatever you need to focus on by yourself, especially if you're a leader, so you can get your mind together. Maybe you need to plan a team building exercise with your executive branches or with your employees so that all of y'all can just get into lockstep if everybody's all over the place. If you have a smaller company, it's a lot easier to do. The bigger your company is, you might have to do it in sections so it makes sense. And it's also affordable and scalable. Okay. Not everybody needs the same message either. So that's why sometimes certain departments go on departmental exercises and meetings and stuff like that. But it's real important, that sometimes you may have to shut down a day to get organized, or maybe you're shutting down a lot longer than that. But if you don't get your business in order, you're going to be like the many who go out of business in 2 to 5 years, or like the many who never even start their business. Okay. So if you want to change that, I want to encourage you, look at your action plan, look at your foundation, and I want you to develop a plan for success. Okay. We can say we want to do anything we want to do. Okay. But most people who are successful, they planned for it. It wasn't just a roll of the dice. Lord help me, take the wheel. Thank you so much for raining down dollars or raining down success. They positioned themselves. Okay. So, my question to you today, are you positioning yourself for success? I know as a person of integrity, I look at how people do business. And if there was a company back in the day that hired me and was doing things in a non integrous way, it was real quick. I was out of the industry. I was out of the business. And sometimes I would leave the whole industry because it was just no way for me to see a clear win, for everybody, not just me to make a paycheck. It had to always be more than that for me. But when I started realizing, like, yeah, this company doesn't have my goals, or it's not really going to help me get to where I want to be, I had to honestly start looking at how am I going to reshuffle my life. And I wanted you to consider the same thing. What is a success plan for you? What do you need? Do you need a company that'll support you? Do you want a husband that'll be there, a wife that could be there, someone that could help you balance administratively? Do you want somebody that's in your industry? Or are you okay with somebody who's in a different industry that is going to benefit from the fact that you are not in the same industry? Because some industries take more time. If you're a truck driver, being married to another truck driver might be very difficult because you're both never home. So how can a marriage progress, right? But if one of you is a truck driver and the other one's a school teacher or something like that, one can definitely function and take care of a house while the other one may have to be over the road. And then when you guys come back, then you can make things make sense if you want to have a family. So you want to look at, what does the succession plan look like? What is realistic? I know sometimes people who come from different cultures, they might say, well, it's not that I couldn't love you, but if I'm being honest about a success plan, this is how I want to live my life. And I know trying to live this with you is not possible, or it won't be the way I'm thinking it. Doesn't mean that it couldn't be something, but it's not what I'm looking for. So that's why I say consider your plan, because you can plug anybody into a position, but plugging them into that position doesn't mean it's really setting you up for success. Some people are setting themselves up for distractions because they're picking men or they're picking women, they're picking employees that are underqualified, they're picking people that don't meet their standards, they're picking people they would have never picked, but maybe out of desperation or fear of loneliness, they're locking in step with people that are not even going in the same direction. You say you're a believer, and then you marry someone who doesn't believe and has no interest in learning. So now you're fighting in your home with the person that you say is your partner. And it's hard to walk together if you can't agree. And so I encourage you. I'm not saying some relationships don't work and people don't believe the same things, but I will say that if you have a standard that you're looking for, don't don't feel that the father can't handle it. I know in the third book, Sharpen Your Focus, it says put it all on the table. And when you put it all on the table, know that the father can meet your requirements. In fact, his ways are higher than our ways anyway. So there's nothing too hard for him. But when we start limiting what we can pray for, then we're limiting what we can believe for. Then that means we're limiting what the Father can give to us. Because if He brought it to us, we would call it the devil or say it's too good to be true and stuff like that. Or we can honestly pick something totally different. I don't know, for some reason, sometimes we can see what we pray for, but feel like we don't deserve it. So then we'll walk away from the thing we prayed for. So I'm going to encourage you, you need a plan for success and not a plan to digress. Okay. You want to move forward. So that's the goal for the month of April as you start the second quarter and you're looking for where your business is going, where life could go. I want to encourage you for sure, for sure. Okay. The next thing I want to let you know is don't be afraid of trials. Okay. Trials are not the end. They don't mean you failed. They're not there to beat you up and just remind you of how sucky you are or how terrible your life is or how bad of a person you have been in your past or you was yesterday. It's not about that. It rains on the just and the unjust. So with that note, it don't matter what you did. All it matters is how are you going to move forward? Are you going to put an action plan in for success? Are you going to look at what you've been doing? Are you going to start considering what is the plan? Are you willing to redirect your resources and your assets so you can position yourself to win? Because no matter where you're at, you can win. I know sometimes we might feel like, man, my life is so sucky, I can't win. Everything's just gone. There are people who rebuilt their lives with nothing. Some people rebuilt their whole legacy when everything was lost, or it felt that way, right? Some of the stories that we cannot refute was a total rebuild for a lot of people. I can point out a lot. I mean, you can think of the Holocaust, to slavery, to the Americans, to the, times of Braveheart, all these wonderful stories we watch in television and movies. And I say wonderful stories, meaning they are so elaborate, so out there, so courageous, so beyond our everyday, the mundane things we do. And we might say, well, my life ain't that colorful. I don't have that much going on. But do you have to have that much going on to realize more could be going on in your life, ideally for the better? And so I want to encourage you that if you look at these 6 points in this check-in and you really look at them, write them down, and commit to doing some changes, to maybe moving your priorities around and redirecting what might be going in the wrong direction, you really can rebuild your life. You really can rebuild it. Now, rebuilding doesn't mean the house pops up like a jack in the box overnight. What it means is your mind can be reset to win, restructured, a better foundation can be established. And when you have a better foundation, whatever you're putting in next is going to be more stable than whatever was there before. Because whatever was there before, the foundation wasn't good. So if the foundation isn't good, your whole house can slide in a mudslide. If the foundation ain't good, then you're going to have to crack it up anyway to lay the pipes right. If it wasn't done right, you got to bring stuff down to the studs, because wallpaper and drywall looks great, but it means absolutely nothing if the stuff behind the wall is a fire hazard. The wall has to come out. The ceilings have to come down. So before you start trying to decorate your life, look at your foundation, look at your studs, look if what you're building is on sinking sand or if it's on something that is a sure thing. I know people are not sure things. We all can agree to that, but the Father is. So what is your purpose? What do you need to embrace about you today? Okay. I want to encourage you, if you have been nervous about what to embrace, if you have been questioning, if you have anything to give, the short answer is you do. The only question is, will you? Okay. Will you give what the Father wants from you, for you, so that you can accomplish all that He has for you? And I want to encourage you that that is going to be definitely the better decision to make. Okay. So those are the 6 points for our check-in for this session of Embrace Your Crown. And now I want to give you a couple of action steps. I went through them already, but I want to just put them in bullet point form so you'll be able to zoom into this and just make sure you have it. So let me make this big. So here are the action steps. Consider your plan. All right. What's the cost? Because everything costs you something: time, money, resources, energy, effort. Okay. Consider what that is. Next, what's your action plan? Notice I didn't say what's your plan. What's your action plan? These are things you're going to do or you have to get engaged with. It's not just about everybody fixing it for you. It's about you committing to fixing things with people or for yourself. Okay. Next thing, plan for the future. It's not enough to plan for tomorrow. Plan for the future too. Yes, there are short-term and long-term goals because they're necessary. So make sure you're considering both. Don't get overwhelmed by your long-term goals. That's not the point of them. They're not meant to discourage you. They're meant to help you look beyond your today so that as you're building, you won't get discouraged in your progress. Okay. Because once you achieve that long-term goal, it's going to give you more confidence to keep going and build even more dynamic long-term goals than you have already. And your short-term goals will seem like long-term goals to some people because you're able to accelerate. Okay. Experience helps you to accelerate. This is why you buy books. This is why you get coaches. This is why you get mentors. This is why I mentor people. This is why I have mentors. This is why Embrace Your Crown is meant to be a program and not just something you read in a book once or twice and pray you remember. I want you to understand this is something that is going to help grow with you. And then when you accelerate and graduate out, you can tell someone else how to do it. You can now go mentor and coach others, which is, I think, a beautiful thing. Another thing, don't be afraid of trials. Uh, Problems are going to come, situations are going to come, people are going to flip out and have all kinds of stuff going on. But I want to encourage you that you have everything you need to transform your life. Okay. The key is, or how are you going to use what you have, your resources, your effort, your assets, your time? Another thing is, be prepared to learn as you grow. Okay. As you go through this life, there are going to be things you just don't know and you couldn't have prepared yourself for, but here we are. Okay. So I want to encourage you, don't give up on yourself and don't give up on your progress. Lastly, I want to leave you with this mantra. And here's the mantra: you have a purpose, share your story, and embrace your crown. The best way to learn something is to teach it to someone else. You will not grow to all you can be if you do not train someone to stand in your place. Find a worthy trainee because they will carry your legacy. Your legacy is built by how you live and what you leave behind. So secure your future generations by leaving them something to share and enjoy. And lastly, never lose focus on the goal, your purpose, and what you set out to do and was born to do, because this is what's going to make you feel fulfilled in years and decades and centuries and generations to come. Okay. Now, real quick, I want to go over these books just so you know what they are and all that good stuff. So this is the first book in the Embrace Your Crown series, and I will, yep, I have it next to me. So here it is. Okay, so this is the first book in the Embrace Your Crown series. I want to encourage you, if you've never gotten these books or you don't have them already, I'm gonna pin the QR codes on the screen. So if you want to grab these books, I'm going to share the Embrace Your Crown website where you can buy the books or order them. If you want to get all of them, you can use this, but the website is embraceyourcrown.com. In case you are wondering, I can probably put that on a scroll too, just so you can see it a little bit more easier. Let me see how I can do that real quick. Hold on 1 second. Da, 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 da. Let me see. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna just put the website on here for you guys, just in case you need to see it. Ooh, nope, not that. Okay, let me just do that. So yeah, so this is the first book that ultimately triggered the series. And when I came out with this book, I did not anticipate, honestly, having more than one book. I saw me having one book and doing my best, and whoever could be blessed by that book, I felt it was a success. But when I finished this book, I realized, or while I was finishing it, I had more that I needed to say. I had to say to finish the concept of how to embrace your crown. And so in this one, I deal with the 7 gates on how to find and overcome heartbreak. What I love about this book, and I love about all the books, are the subtitles. So if you find yourself right now begging people to acknowledge you, appreciate you, love or respect you, I want you to start with this book right here. Okay, so you can use the link, scan the QR code, or type in the website address you see, which is embraceyourcrown.com. And I want you to get this book. It's going to be a signed book. It will also come with other helpful things inside the book. QRs are in the book. You can reach out to me and contact me. And if you want mentoring, that's something I'm still offering with the series, but definitely you'll have to reach out to me. So grabbing this book is what you're going to have, if you want me to mentor you. Okay. It just makes it easier for me to see where you are. We'll be there for the 4th book to the series. Oh, he said when will there be a 4th book? So I completed 3 of the books in the series, and the 3 does a lot. Honestly, if I come out with a 4th book, I would have to pray on what that subject is. So in this one, I'm dealing with the 7 gates, and they're in the bubbles if you can see them there. So it's going to be time, purpose, patience, patterns, wants and desires, atmosphere, and lifestyle. Okay, so these are the 7 things we're dealing with in book 1. In book 2, we are going to be dealing with unbelief, because what I realize is sometimes it's not about our resources, but it's about what we can believe for. And some of us are struggling with what we believe we can have or we would like to have, and etc. And so I wanted to come out with this book to help people with that. So in this one is opening 5 gates to overcome unbelief. And the subtitle is Your Biggest Threat to Progress is Unbelief. Sometimes we don't believe we're worthy. Sometimes we don't believe other people care about us. And so we tend to kind of shut ourselves off or down, and we leave ourselves with very little, little room to do anything. And so I want to show you there are people with similar circumstances that find a way to win. And I want to encourage you that if you are willing to do the work, I can show you a way to win. Okay. So this is book 2 in a 3-part series, which I committed to doing. I committed to 3 books. I completed all 3. I committed to this every first Sunday program for the last 3 years. This is actually one of the final episodes I'm going to be doing in this way. This marks my 3rd year, because I want to find better ways to serve you. Definitely mentoring with these books, I'm still going to do. I'm definitely going to put out content on these books because it's absolutely necessary. But I am looking for better ways to reach more people and get the message out for sure about how this series really worked and has been working. So I'm excited for what we are going to do to switch some things up. So definitely keep tuned with that. But yes, in this one, we're going to be dealing with making room for miracles, know the promise, dare to dream, kick negativity, and taking courage and working. To take courage, you have to do more than just say, I believe. I believe is a thing we say when we don't really want to have to do anything to prove it, but it's your actions that really show what you believe. So I want you to look at your action. Remember, we went over action plan today, because if you don't look at your actions, you won't know what you believe. We can deceive ourselves with best intentions. We can say, oh, I believe, but then we'll ask ourselves, well, Krystal, if you believe, why are you not doing it? Why you haven't done this? You say you believe, but you ain't never done this or never applied that. So you got to look at what you really believe based on what you're willing to do, not just what you're easily able to say. Okay. As y'all know, people will tell you anything, but what you really start to believe in is what people show you and how they treat you. Okay. So here is the next one. This is the next one. This one is called Sharpen Your Focus. And I want to put up the correct QR code because that one is for a different book. So I want to definitely bring you to the right QR code. So this is the QR code if you would like to grab. Again, any of these books, they're all on the Embrace Your Crown website. So I encourage you for sure to go there. I'll add the, where is this? Oh yeah, the ticker. There's a ticker for you for Embrace Your Crown, so you'll know where to go. But ultimately, in this book, we're dealing with 3 gates. As you notice, the gates get more and more shorter, smaller, fewer as you go through the series. In this one, there are 3 gates, and there are 3 gates to sharpen your focus that I talk about in this book. Yes, there are more than 3 chapters, but there are 3 specific gates that I want you to consider. Don't let the voices distract you anymore is the subtitle, and I picked it on purpose because oftentimes we can get distracted by what other people say, how other people may look like they are showing up for us, or looking like gold when they're really glitter. They're not the real thing or the thing we've been praying for. So I want to encourage you, don't allow decoys to take you off track. I talk about that in here. I talk about the 7 churches and all kinds of stuff is in that book that really will help solidify your focus and being able to accomplish what you set out to do. So if you have goals, big dreams, big plans, definitely you want to grab that book, and all 3 of them really. So I encourage you to use the QR code or to click on the links in the comments, which will allow you to be able to do that. Or you can always contact me or go to the website, which is embraceyourcrown.com. Okay, it's real easy to remember. It's exactly spelled the right way. So feel free to jump in on that. And let me see, I want to make sure I'm not missing anything here. So we went over that one, and we did that. I know we got to get ready to thank our sponsors. So here we go. So this is all 3 books. Okay. So if you want to get all 3 books, 2 of these books are coming from How to Write and Publish Your Stories with Confidence. And the second one is How to Launch Your Business with Confidence. I noticed that a lot of people starting their writing or publishing journey may never have had a business before. And so starting this is easy. Writing your story may be easy for some of you, or it's hard. And so I want to show you how to do that. And I want to make it easy for you. So one of the things that we talk about here is write anything easily. Okay. So this is the book, Write Anything Easily. And that's an alarm from me. All right. So this is the book, Write Anything Easily. Now, in this book, I cover basically how to write, how to edit, and how to know what you need to format for your book. And as you learn how to do this, it becomes easier and easier. With this, I'm going to show you a process that I recommend doing with Write Anything Easily. Okay, so you can scan this QR code, or you can definitely hit it in the comments. And with Way process, which is Write Anything Easily, WAE process, it's my goal to show you how to write, edit, and publish and make it easy. But I also want to look at what you've written. I also want to give you a consultation to just get you on track. You know, this is a conversation that will help you to develop your story, write your story, and know that where you're getting your story to is where you actually want to be. So Way process, real quick, is made for authors. So if you are an author, a repeat author, a writing enthusiast, I want to let you know that this is the best thing that I feel you can invest in. I've written over 62 books, from children's books to adult books, using this process. This is my process. Okay. As a publisher, editor, and ghostwriter, I take people through this process every day. And I would love to help you go through it, but also how to make this process applicable to your life. Okay. So if you have a story, I want to encourage you to tell your story, even if you write it for yourself, because writing is therapy. All right. So if I can encourage you, if I can help you to get this goal or this objective on the way, allow me to help you. I would absolutely love to. And I can make writing and publishing your books easy. Okay. And also on budget. So if this makes sense, I encourage you to utilize this QR code, share it with those you know and love, or hit the link in the comments. For some of the platforms, it'll show up in the comments. If not, go to WAE, which is Way process.com, WAE process.com. And I look forward to you starting with the 156, which will cover you getting this guide for sure. I give it to you as a gift for doing the consultation. And this is going to allow you to get your book and everything on track. All right. And the next thing I want to share with you too is, if you are wanting to ultimately start your business, I want to let you know there's an easy way to do that too. Okay. Yes, you can buy the book if you would like to grab the book, and you can get the book for, $85 if you would like to do that. But my biggest thing is, for sure, how can I show you how to make this process easy? Okay. So this is the process. This is the goal. If you want to ultimately write in, if you want to take your writing business to the next level, or any business, this is a small business guide. It's a dream, because I make everything real simple to understand, from the 4 pillars of business. It's a full colored book, just like the previous one for Write Anything Easily. And there are QR codes, there are gems in here. There are highlights of my previous clients. There are fill in the blank sections that I encourage you to use if you've never had a business before and you're looking at starting one, how you can make it make sense. So it's a lot of really, really good things. I show you how to identify your ideal client. How are you going to know where to sell your books at, or your material, your services even. I show you how to develop your website, knowing how to use colors and designs, layouts. So wherever you're at in this process of launching your business or making it better, I want to let you know for sure there are resources in the book. All right. So if you have questions about launching your business, in this consultation, I'm going to give you the book for free. There's other freebies that come in the package, but the best part is you're going to be able to talk to me or one of my advisors. We're going to look at your business. We're going to consider what you need, and then give you options on how to make it happen. And yes, some of these things you can do yourself. Honestly, that's the goal of the book, is to show you how to do it yourself. And then if you say, well, I need help, or can you help me, or show me how to do this, we can coach you. I have business coaches. I have writing coaches. So whatever you need, ultimately we can help you do to embrace your crown, embrace your story. All right. So if that can bless you, and feel free to use this QR code and definitely reach back out to me. I would love, love, love to help you on this journey. Okay. So special thanks to Turnkey Solution. Turnkey Solution is KLEturnkey.com. So let me put that up for you, just in case you're looking for the website. You can also go to the website, which is kleturnkey.com, and make sure it's on here. Here it is. So yeah, so here is the website, kleturnkey.com. Real quick. So take a screenshot of this if you need to look it up later, definitely. But the way I recommend you start is the 156. And if you want coaching, then you can pick the other options that are available on the site to add the 156 and coaching together. But you don't have to do that to start. My goal is to see where you are, show you what you need, and then see if coaching is best for you or something else. It may not be. So yeah, so that's why having that present, having the consultation with us is what I recommend over everything else. Because my job is to show you what you need. Okay. So this is the collection again. If you want to get all 5 books, you can go here and get the books. If you want to subscribe, real quick, if you subscribe to Embrace Your Crown, it's $26 a month, or you can subscribe at $127. So what's the difference? If you subscribe or enroll at $26 a month, every month you're enrolled, you're going to get one of the books that are included in each of the sessions. Okay. If you subscribe or enroll at 127, then you're going to get the mentoring that goes with it. So I'm going to step you through the books, which means you don't even have to read it. I'm going to show you how to process the information chapter by chapter. Okay. So that's the best part. If you know everything I'm telling you today was like everything you needed to hear, everything you're going through, in part, then I want to encourage you to definitely subscribe and pick the best plan for you and what you're ultimately trying to accomplish at this point in your life. Okay. So again, take a screenshot of this if you need to. The website is embraceyourcrown.com. If you would like to have that QR code, I'm going to throw that QR code up there one more time. Again, this is if you would like to subscribe. This is the QR code. Take a picture of it, screenshot it, and you can always go back to it later or click the link in the comments if it's there, and you can definitely do that as well. The website is embraceyourcrown.com, which you see up here. There are no spaces altogether, and you'll be able to go to the website and get more content. Over time, we are looking at switching how we are ultimately doing things. Again, doing it on social media or in this way. This is the last month I'm doing in this way. So I will be looking at in May how I'm going to change things around. It may be changing the day, changing the time. I'm realizing Sundays are not the best times for a lot of people. A lot of us are moving around with family on Sundays. And I want to pick a time where you can take advantage of this kind of information. So if you have time frames or ideas of times that may be better for you, let me know. You can definitely send me a message and I will consider the feedback I'm getting and see if maybe just doing something a little bit more shorter and express might be ideal than what I've been doing. So we always live and grow and learn. So what I'm looking at doing for the month of May is reset and recommit. Quarter one is done. Now what? As y'all know, January through March is quarter one. Now stepping in quarter two. This is the second month. That will be the second month in quarter two. So it's time to get busy. The year is going to be quickly approaching. Summer will be near. Summer comes. We're in quarter three. So let's try to get done what we need to get done. And I just want to tell you guys, I'm author Kaylee. I appreciate you guys being here. And I look forward to what happens from here. And until my next live, I want to definitely tell you guys, just thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for allowing me to be with you all these years. It's been 3 years. I'm excited to have gotten to a point of finish. I believe in finishing what you start, no matter how it goes, just so you know you did everything you could and the Father would ask of you. So I'm excited that I can say that, and Lord's willing, you will be able to as well. Okay, so I'm going to just definitely tell you guys thank you to every last one of you who have been a part of this, who have had an interest in the books and have committed to just supporting the program. Thank you so much. For those of you looking to subscribe or would like that information one more time, this is the details to subscribe to the program and to grab the books if you don't have them already. And then lastly, I just want to leave you with a quick thank you message and let you guys know I want you to have the best month of April. I pray that all is well and will be well in your lives. May you guys grow in progress and in your process. And until the next live that I do for Embrace Your Crown, you guys have a wonderfully blessed day, and bye-bye for now. I'm excited that we are going to be releasing a new mentor program for Embrace Your Crown featuring all three books. So, if you've been wanting to grow this year and just honestly achieve some things you've been believing for, praying for, maybe you haven't been praying, but you just know that there are some things you need to do, you want to do, and you could use someone to kind of nudge you and help, just keep you encouraged, and then also give you some, helpful, tips as you kind of, go through this process in your life. So if I can be a part of that, I would love to. I'm Dr. Krystal Lee. I am an author, published author, minister, and chaplain, and I would love to be there with you. So if I can do that for you, be there with you, let me know, and I look forward to seeing you in my mentor program. You can go to embraceyourcrown.com and you can essentially enroll into my Embrace Your Crown mentor program. So if you would like to join, please go to my website, embraceyourcrown.com.